Hey, welcome back to another CBB Talk with your boy, Will Dickinson. We're here. We're back in the normal studio or whatever you want. This is not a studio, by the way. This is just the normal location for videos. Hey, 20 views in the last video, so pretty good. That's the second highest this season. Oh, sorry. Yep, second highest this season. So thank you for that. We're gonna keep going here. We got another couple games to go over. Really, not much happened since my last episode. Big change was FAU moving up with a big win over A&M, and that Texas A&M. That was a phenomenal win right there by the Owls to get the job done over a really good Texas A&M team who I thought could win that game, should win that game. They didn't win the game. Look, Elijah Martin is still battling a little bit of an injury there, but came back in that one, had a really good performance. And I think FAU is a team that has the capability of really going a long way this year. I mean, we saw what they did last year in the tournament, going to the Final Four. And Texas A&M's a team that was a 7th seed last year in the tournament. Well, I'm pretty sure won the SEC regular season, or not won it, because I think they finished second because Alabama was really good last year. We saw Wade Taylor 35 in this one, but really no one else stepped up. I think Henry Coleman going down with the injury there. I think that was the real difference maker. Losing by 7, you missed out on Coleman there. Tyrese Radford only had 2 points in 18 minutes there. So, yeah, I think that was a big difference there. And you saw John L. Davis had 6 threes, Elijah Martin 25. They combined 51 points. Greenlee off the bench with 12. But FAU, coming off a concerning loss against Bryant the week prior, brought it down here and goes and wins the ESPN Invitational and then beats Virginia Tech on Sunday. That's a really good start for the Owls this year. Look, they still have a couple tough non-con games coming up, right? So they might lose another one. But look, they gotta prove themselves because the American Conference is down. I moved them up to number 12 in my rankings here. So this will be the official week 3 rankings. This is my week 3 rankings. They finished at 12 there. And Texas A&M, I drop him down to 16th. Not too concerning there. Hopefully Henry Coleman can come back there because he got off to a really good start and then went out. Wade Taylor was good. Hefner hit some threes, finished with 14. But I still like Texas A&M a lot. I do not know where they stack up in a really tough SEC. I still have Tennessee as the best. Then I have Kentucky and then A&M in there, and I don't have Mississippi State just out of my top 25 so far, and I moved Alabama out of my top 25 after their loss. Who did they lose to? To Ohio State. Ohio State playing really good. They're close to being in my top 25 as well, but more takeaway from FAU, proving they are a legit team, and they should be able to again, hopefully win out or lose one more game in the non-con and then be the favorite to win the American. But Memphis has also looked pretty good to start the year. Arkansas is 4-3, a team that I had really high in the regular season, higher than most. It's not a good look for me so far to start the year. They're 4-3. They lose to UNC. RJ Davis 30 in this one. Harrison Ingram had 13 and 10. Tremont Mark went down with a scary injury. Looks like he's gonna be all right. He had 34 in this one. Trayvon Brazile 0. Debo Davis 0. Look, I still think this team is gonna be super good. Khalif Bow really didn't do. I had 9 in this one. Makai Mitchell 5. Look, I think this team is still going to be good. I'm not too concerned about Arkansas. Yes, you want them to get some of these wins, and they have a really tough game again this week against Duke. But that one is in Fayetteville at home in Bud Walton. That's going to be a tough place for Duke to go at, and if Arkansas can get back on the right track, it'll be huge. If not, 4-4 is a little concerning. UNC a successful trip to Atlantis, I would say. Of course, you would like to go undefeated and beat Villanova, but look, Elliott Cadeau's go off to a slower start, and Baycott's not really being that dominant force you thought, but RJ Davis has looked to part. Seth Trimble's looking like he's taking a second-year step, and they had no Cormac Ryan in this one, and they got the job done, who has got off to a really good start for the year. For the Tar Heels, I got Carolina. I moved them to 20th in my rankings. I was up 2 spots in the last time we talked. And I moved Memphis down with that loss to Villanova. Because let's give some Villanova talk here. Villanova was a team that I was excited to watch this year. Down year last year, of course, on the first year, Coach Kyle Neptune. But they didn't have Justin Moore most of the year, but they brought back a lot of good pieces. And then get Tyler Burton from Richmond, get TJ Bamba from Washington State, and they've played really good team basketball, and they easily beat Memphis in the battle for Atlantis championship there. Bamba had 13, Burton 11, Justin Moore 11, Eric Dixon with 11, Mark Armstrong with 10. This is a team that's going to play collective good basketball. We saw against UNC, it was Eric Dixon with 30 in that one. But he's only averaging like 11 points this year. So it's really it's a team basketball. It's any given day for any given guy is the way they play. And it's kind of the same thing with Memphis. Another really experienced team, and they really couldn't get the ball going. They didn't shoot great there. David Jones only had 13, and he had that 30 burger, I believe, against Arkansas. Or was that against Michigan? One of them. He had a really good game, couldn't get going there. I really am encouraged what I see in Villanova, and I'm buying them, right? Again, the Big East's schedule is really tough. They have some tougher games, but after a loss to Penn, you kind of got concerned. They fell out of my top 25. They're back in now at number 17, one spot behind A&M. I'm feel good about the Wildcats here. It's gonna be a tough Big East schedule. Of course, you got Marquette, Creighton, who they lose to Colorado State, and I'm okay with where I have Creighton at 14. Colorado State does move into my top 25 at number 25, along with BYU at 24. It's just UConn's a tough, so it's not gonna be easy. Big East is never easy, but you want to get these not good non-con wins and then hold your own in Big East play, because it's not going to be easy. But I really like from Villanova, and I'm impressed with Memphis too. Michigan, you beat Michigan and then you beat Arkansas. I got Memphis at 21 in my rankings there. They weren't in at the start of the week, so a good week for Memphis. Baylor took down Florida in a good game there. I got Baylor now inside my top 10 at number 9. So a really good start from Baylor. We saw Virginia Tech beat Iowa State, then lose to FAU. So FAU is looking really, really good so far. Yeah, Ohio State ended up winning the Emerald Coast Classic. So a good start from Ohio State for the year. Tough game for Bama. Their offense look really good. Grant Nelson, 20 in this one. Bruce Thornton and Robert Yaley both have 20 points in this one. I like what I've seen from Ohio State to start the year. And we'll see if they can contend the Big Ten after a down year last year, not making the tournament. But I expect them to make it this year after a year where you didn't expect them to not make the tournament last year, and I think there was a little bit higher expectations, but we didn't know what we were going to get out of them this year. And so far, off to a good start. Bama, not worried, but they did drop out of my top 25. I got them below Mississippi State now. Mississippi State just out there around 27, 28 in my rankings, but that's not that of a list. Princeton's my first team out right now. 6-0, playing really, really good basketball. Shout out to Bradley, also undefeated. But my mid majors I really got in are FAU, obviously, and then Colorado State. JMU at 18, still undefeated, playing well. Destroyed Fresno State. I think I talked about that last episode. And Colorado State, they got a game against Colorado this week. That's gonna be a big one. And yeah, Princeton just out of there. Again, have started off the season amazingly. Have the Tigers. They're a team that made the Sweet 16 last year, so they're a legit team, and they can play some really good basketball. Alabama does beat Oregon there to finish off to get their 3rd place, but not sure how much I do believe in Alabama right now. Oregon does not look like they're too good of a team so far this year. But again, this weekend there wasn't a lot of amazing games. We saw FAU get a much needed win. Louisville escapes against New Mexico. Louisville still ass. Sorry, for that language. But that's the only way to describe Louisville, is just being terrible. I guess they're gonna hold on for now against I'm sorry, they're gonna hold on to Kenny Payne. But it's just a tough situation right now that they're in. They're just not a good team. And this is a program that's won a national championship about a little over 10 years ago now. So they've been at the Hive. They've seen the greatness this program can have. And Kenny Payne's clearly not the answer here. And we'll see if they keep him for the rest of the year. But it doesn't look like they're going to have a great year. But yeah, that was really all from the weekend. Nothing really crazy. Of course, FAU moved up. And let's go through my top 25 this week. At number 1, the Purdue Boilermakers had a great week in Maui, won it. Number 2, I had Marquette over Arizona. Arizona 3. Marquette barely lost the number 1 team in the nation. So why should I take credit off? They have a really good win. They had 2 good wins over UCLA and then over Kansas. Yeah, really think Marquette's a great team. Arizona 3, undefeated, have a great win over Duke and Michigan State. Those are 2 amazing wins. Kansas at 4, dropped them a bit. Not a great week for Kansas, losing Marquette, but they did get a nice win over Tennessee. Houston at 5 so far, consistent 5-0. Haven't had any really tough games though to start the year. UConn 6, we got a big one coming up on Friday with UConn and Kansas. First great test for UConn, but they've had some tough games. They played Tech. They beat Texas this week. Duke has a game against Arkansas this week in the ACC SEC Challenge. That's gonna be a good one there. Duke's at 7 with 1 loss. Tennessee 2 losses, but still at 8. Had a tough schedule. They ended up losing to Purdue in a close fashion game, and then lose to Kansas in a close game. So Tennessee, I still think is really good. Baylor at 9, undefeated. Really good start to the year for the Bears. Miami at 10. Miami's won their MTE. Really good game against Kentucky this week. I'm really excited to look forward to that one. And see how legit both these teams are. Yeah. Gonzaga 11. Decent week there in Maui. Went 2-1. Won their losers bracket. FAU, we already talked about them. They're at 12. Yep, Kentucky 13. 10 versus 13 matchup. Big one there. Rob Dillingham has been amazing to start his freshman season at Kentucky, and he comes off the bench and is one of the most efficient scorers all in ball. DJ Wagner, slow start. Justin Edwards, slow start. But we've seen Reed Shepherd be really well. I like this Kentucky team. Creighton 14. Had a bad game against Colorado State, but it happens. I still think they're a super, super good team. I'm not sure if they have any tough games coming up this week, but the Blue Jays, tough loss, but that's to a good Colorado State team. 15, Texas. Didn't look amazing in the Empire State Classic, but they played UConn decent, and I still think they're a contender in the Big 12. Texas A&M at 16. We already talked about them. Hopefully Henry Coleman come back healthy. Wade Taylor looks really, really good. We always talk about a lot. Villanova at 17. JMU 18. I don't think they really have any tough games. They have no tough games this week. Should be able to win their games and continue to be undefeated there. And shout out to TJ Bickerstaff, my dude. And yeah, Terrence Edwards, also a dog, one of the best players in the country. 19, Illinois. I think this Illinois team's underrated. 1 loss. It was at home to Marquette. A home loss, you don't want to have home losses, but Marquette's an insanely good team, and I think this Illinois team is going to contend in the Big Ten. UNC at 20, we already talked about a lot about them. RJ Davis has been phenomenal this year, and Armando Bacot hasn't been the best player. And it's a little surprising, but honestly, these last couple of years are big. The last 2 years, Bacot hasn't been the man. Yeah, Memphis 21. We talk about them. They're an experienced team, and they're a team that does it by committee a lot of the times, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but They looked very impressive in Atlantis, and I like the way they're playing, but we'll see how they can contend in the American. It will be them or FAU, I assume. San Diego State at 22. They beat Cal over the weekend. 1 loss to BYU, and I had BYU below San Diego State. It's weird. It's a weird thing I have to think about when ranking teams, because it's ranking teams, yes, on resume, yes, on talent, and the head-to-head's a very important thing, right? I know it is, and it's hard to have a team that lost to a team above, but Look, I think San Diego State's a better team. If that game was in a neutral site, I really do believe San Diego State wins. Provo has a big home court advantage. You see that in football. You see that in basketball all the time. And BYU is a really, really good team, and that's why I have them at 24. But I think San Diego State will be better by the end of the year. Clemson at 23, another criminally underrated team. They take on Alabama this week, so I think the winner of that game will be back into my rankings, or if Clemson's sake, up in my rankings. PJ Hall looks amazing start the year. They're undefeated. BYU looking really, really good. A team that was projected, I believe, 13th in the Big 12. They're outdoing those expectations, and they looked really, really good to start the year. And 25, Colorado State. The Rams play Colorado this week in a big game, and this is a really impressive start for Colorado State there, and looked like they could be contending with San Diego State in the Mountain West. Princeton, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, UCLA, all teams that I'm looking at to get into that top 25. And since last time we talked, USC fell out after that loss to Oklahoma, and Alabama fell off after the loss to Ohio State. So that was my top 25. Let's go look at some games coming up for the next 2 days, because I should be able to talk to you again on Wednesday. I don't believe there's really any good games tonight on Monday. UConn plays. A decent one is St. Mary's, Utah. I believe this one is in St. Mary's, Utah. 3-2 to start the year, so a tough one for them. St. Mary's 3-3, so both these teams seem to win there. But that's really the only interesting one tonight. My Sixers play the Lakers, so I'll probably be watching a little bit of that. Monday Football, near miracle with TJ Hawkinson not doing much, and Vikings D, so I'm rooting for the Bears tonight. But tomorrow night is the start of the SEC ACC Challenge, so I need some water. Okay, so sorry. Yeah, I said the start of the ACC SEC Challenge, which is very exciting. I believe this is the first year of it. It used to be ACC Big Ten Challenge, but I believe now it's a new one. This is new. And there are some decent games on Tuesday. LSU Syracuse, really nothing special there. It's a pick'em game in the Carrier Dome. Mississippi State, Georgia Tech should be a Mississippi State win on the road. Notre Dame, South Carolina, another kind of pointless game between two bottom of the conference teams. But the real star matchup on Tuesday is Miami, Kentucky. I mean, wow, this is a Kentucky's -5 in this one, which is actually, I think, is a lot. Miami's good. North Chalmers is going to give problems if Kentucky's not healthy at the center position. He again, a guy who's be able to actually stretch the floor out a little bit to start this year. Nigel Pack's an amazing player. Matthew Cleveland. I think they're a more experienced team, and I think they're going to be able to give the young Kentucky team trouble there. But in Rupp, not an easy place to play. That's for sure. In Miami, a team that made the Final Four, so the biggest game of the year, definitely. And I'm very, very excited for this one Tuesday night. Give me Miami, though, to upset Kentucky, I guess, on the road there. But it's not. I'm not too confident in that pick. But if I had to pick one, I'm gonna go with Miami. I'm going with the Hurricanes. I believe they're a better team. And this would be a huge statement win for Jim Larinaga. There, the other really good game is Clemson, Alabama. This is in Tuscaloosa. Bama's -9.5 in this one. Wow. It's a little much for me. PJ Hall, again, really good start for Clemson this year. I really like the way Clemson has started this year. They're 5-0. They're playing really well. I like the Tigers. Look, they haven't placed great competition, and I understand that, but they have wins they won. I think they won MT, or they won at or they either won MT or they won at UAB. I don't know. But look, if we go, let's go. Who's leading them in points this year? Jeez, why can't I not see this? Okay, points per game. Yeah, PJL averaging 20 start a year. Chase Hunter was a guy who was there last year. I really like Clemson. I think they can cover this 9-point spread, but winning at Alabama will be a very tall task. So give me the Crimson Tide in this one. So big games though on Tuesday night are Miami, Kentucky. Give me the Hurricanes on the road there, and then I think Bama's going to hold their own and beat Clemson, but 9.5 is a big spread. So watch. I think that was going to be close, but those are two really good games for Tuesday. Pretty sure there's going to be good games Wednesday too, but we can cover that next episode. So we'll see The biggest takeaway will be this. When we come back, will be Miami, Kentucky. We'll talk about that on Wednesday. That was another episode of CBB Talk, and peace out.